stream coming for you today. And we are going to be taking the CRJ out today. We got Sim Update 10 running the beta here, so we're going to see how she flies and see how we do. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. Looks like most of my viewers here, as you can see, not subscribed. So if you would do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, let you know when we're going live, so you can join us. So appreciate you joining, and I've got everything set up. We're about ready to go, and we're not going to be using any ATC today, just with Sim Update 10. And I don't want any kind of crashes or anything like that. Don't know what it's going to be like. I've done a couple small flights and it's been fine, but not going to use Pilot Edge or any kind of ATC today. We're just going to be doing the flight, talking about a little bit about the panels and everything else. So we'll go ahead and get engine started and fired up and get our pushback going. So let's get going. So we'll go ahead and bring up our pushback and we will call for the pushback.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
Get our beacon flipped on. Get all our hydraulics on. And we will go ahead and wait for the OK. So how's everybody doing tonight? Doing well? Good, good. That's what we like to hear.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
All right.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
We'll release the parking brake.
Parking brakes
and
are
we'll go
released.
ahead and start up the engines.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
And engine 1 is starting. Get nose wheel steering armed. Get the V-speeds already in. And we're going to be departing out of Phoenix and going up to Boise today. So
Okay, pushback completed. Please set
been
your
a little-
parking brake.
been a little bit since I've been on YouTube.
Parking brake set.
Been actually doing real life
Parking
flying.
brake set. Lowering aircraft.
So it's a lot of fun in the simulator, but real flying, there's
Ground.
nothing like
Startup
it.
is
So
complete. You may disconnect.
Roger. Good engine start. Clear it to disconnect. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
So we're going to be climbing up to flight level 340, so we'll go ahead and put that in there. So we've got 340 in, and let's go ahead and we are flying with American Airlines Virtual Airlines. So if you're looking for an airline and don't have one, or never thought about it, it's a lot of fun. It gets you the real life of what really goes on, and so I encourage you to join. There's a link in the description. Just click on that link and that'll take you right to the American virtual airline that I fly for. So Engine 1 started up good, so let's go ahead and get engine 2 started up. And we'll be watching for our N2. Once it gets above 20%, we'll go ahead and move the throttles to idle, monitoring our ITT temp. And there's our 20%. I'll go ahead and move it into idle position. Alright. I am running max settings. Everything is 100%, so on max, only thing I don't have is the LOD. That LOD is set to 200, which used to be the max originally, but is not now. So, alright, good engine starts. We'll go ahead and set our flaps to flaps of 8. And we are indicating we're good. Go ahead and do a flight control check. Up. Down. Elevator's good. Alright. Flight controls are good. Yeah, let's go ahead and get the taxi. So probes are on already. I've already got that. Anti-ice, we don't need taxi lights. Let's go ahead and get our taxi lights turned on. Taxi lights are on. APU, we'll go ahead and get that turned off. So we can go ahead and hit the stop. And 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And we'll go ahead and power that off. And nose wheel steering is armed. And before takeoff, we'll get all that as we start to go. So we don't have anybody doing our taxi instructions, so we'll go ahead and be taxiing ourselves. So let's head on out. And we'll go ahead and power that off. Alright, here we go. And we're going to be departing off of runway 26, which will just be right out here to the left and to the right. I am using track.IR. Look at that beautiful sunset over there. That is beautiful. What a beautiful sim. Clear left, clear right. And runway 26 is right there, so we'll take a right. Looks like somebody's just landed or just taken off, one of the two. Be controlling ourselves here, so hope everybody's alright with that. Get our speed set to 240. Speed limit is under 10,000 feet. You got to keep it under 250 knots. So let's get back on center line here. Alright, looks like someone's coming in, so we'll go ahead and flip on our landing lights. And we'll run our before landing, their takeoff. Strobes are on. Strobes are on. Beacon is on. Fuel flow is set to manual. And set that to manual. Set to manual. Transponder is on already. TCAS radar, we're good. Ready for takeoff. So, yeah, this is way. So, person landing. So we'll go ahead and up to 50%. Everything looks good. Go full power. And we'll use our rudders to maintain and hold center line. And there's 80 knots. And there's 120. And 140. And rotate. Positive right, gear up. And we'll go into nav mode. We'll go into speed. And autopilot engaged. And we'll set our speed to 240. We're going to make a small left turn to intercept our course. And there we've intercepted our course. Speed is slowly gaining. And we'll go ahead and flaps up. And we'll pull us back to climb. Back to our climb detent. There's our climb detent. And then we'll go ahead and speed on up to 240 knots. By now they'd be telling us to switch over to departure. And off we go. Beautiful sight of downtown Phoenix. As we're heading out. Beautiful sunset. So alright, so we're on our way. Let's go ahead and do our after landing or after takeoff checklist. Landing gear is up, flaps are retracted, fuel flow set to auto. Thrust reversers are not armed, turn those off. And lights, go ahead and turn off our landing lights. Well, we're below 10,000, we'll leave those on. Once we climb through 10,000, then we will go ahead and turn off our landing lights, and we can turn off passenger signs. So off we go. So go ahead and turn on the radar terrain. See if it shows us anything. In the CRJ, excuse me, in the CRJ, they did update to where you do have terrain, but with being Sim Update 10 beta, I don't know, I'm not going to rely on it to work. So, we do have our traffic on, be monitoring that. So, off we go. I am using Air Manager. That's what you see on the panels in the top right, and the top left, and the bottom left. So if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description for that, and that is what allows me to be able to use my touchscreen monitors out here in front of me to control a lot of the aircraft. So the autopilot, lights, all that information is all on monitors that are touchscreen, so I just have to touch, and then I have two Knobsters that I am able to use to control those. So we're on our way, climbing through 10,000. We can go ahead and turn off our lights, landing lights, and our taxi lights. And we are on our way to oxygen. And we'll go ahead and turn our packs both on. Both our packs are on, so we can go ahead and keep on climbing. Appreciate everybody joining. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving sandwiches.
So we'll go ahead and turn off the fasten seatbelt signs, allow them to move freely about the cabin. Now that we're above 10,000, we'll go ahead and start speeding up to about 260. Climbing in IAS mode, speed mode, where basically the airplane will try and hold a certain pitch to maintain whatever speed I tell it to maintain. So as we climb and I sped up a little bit, it pitched the nose down to gain speed, and then once it hits it, it'll start pulling slightly back. And so far Sim Update 10 has been pretty smooth. I haven't had any issues with that. I haven't had it crash to desktop yet, but you do have to remove AIG. So if you do the beta, you will have to remove AIG from it, as it will crash it. So we'll go ahead and sync up our heading bug just by pushing in on the Knobster. And we've got all our flaps up and everything's good, so off we go. Climbing to flight level 340. Climbing through 18,000, so we'll go ahead and hit our standard barometric pressure. And there's standard. Such a beautiful simulator. Look at that sunset. It is just beautiful. Nice big lake over there. I don't know what lake that is. I don't know. Not exactly sure. Very beautiful sim. Looks like there's an airplane down there. Nice little airplane flying low. Watch out for mountains if you're that low. Yep, we're climbing up to flight level 340. Go ahead and take a look outside. American Eagle Virtual Airlines. So is there anybody in here that plays this on Xbox, or is most of the people in here play it on PC? leave it in the chat of how you fly this simulator, or if you even fly this simulator. So climbing up through flight level 260 on our way to flight level 340. So one thing you got to do whenever you're flying an airplane is always be ahead of the airplane. So next step that we're going to come to is we're going to be leveling off. So once we level off, we will go ahead and we'll let the speed build up to our cruise speed. Once we get to our cruise speed, we'll pull the power back to set cruise power, and which will be about 84% of N1 ish, 85% of N1. And so that's what we will do here shortly. That'll be our next step. Once we get into cruise, then we'll start thinking about our descent, when we need to descend, and what flight levels we need to be at. So go ahead and set up our VNAV, so that way we're prepared for when we need to start our descent. Well, hello there, Knox, and yes, it is a beautiful sunset. Let's take a look at gander at that. Yeah, just beautiful. So pretty. Would you just look at it? Just look at it. Co-pilot was getting lazy, so I took his armrest away. That way he can't fall asleep on me. Yeah. I do have a rumble shaker at the bottom of my seat, so anytime that I add throttle or add thrust or set flaps or anything like that, it will rumble as it would in a real aircraft. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, good, good. So this is probably one of my favorite aircraft in the Microsoft Flight Simulator, the CRJ 900. I do really enjoy the TBM, but until Asobo fixes the being able to pop out the panel and then be able to use the touch function and not have to use a mouse, the TBM is kind of useless. The G3000, any plane that uses the G3000 or the G5000 is pretty much useless. So also, might want to go on the forums if you want and check it out and vote for it. Got 1,000 feet to go, but also now in Sim Update 10 that I have noticed is that when you pop out a panel, You can no longer use the mouse function to even control it. Oh man. Looks like Nox is in stupid love with Zane. Alright, looks like we're coming up on our flight level 340, so we'll go ahead and let the airspeed build. And once it builds, we'll fly about Mach 0.7 or Mach 0.80. I think you both know where each other live. Isn't it past your guys' bedtime? Yeah, he's standing right behind me. I guess I could do that. But that I'll be nice and not do that to my child. So, if you didn't see in the description, my PC specs is I got a 5950X AMD Ryzen 9 for my CPU, and I have a 3080 Ti video graphics card. And then I have an SSD that everything is on. I got a 50-inch 4K monitor, and then I have 2 touch screens. Well, technically 3 touch screens with the iPad. And then I also have 2 27-inch monitors. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see traffic way up there. You can see his jet stream back behind him. So you're wanting to see the Maverick stuff, huh? That is on here. I have not even done any part of it, so maybe we could stream that and do some Top Gun, fly some F-14s around. Well, you want to show them how you can do barrel rolls? I don't know how many passengers back there would think that that's very safe. Thank you, appreciate that. It's been building it for a long time. You guys check out over there, you can see a jet way off in the distance. So we're on our way to Boise, Idaho. I don't think that there's much there, but so let's go look it up, and we were gonna go find KOI, and let's check out the info for that. Field elevation is going to be, so we're going to start planning our descent a little bit here. Field elevation is going to be 2,872 feet. So we will turn this up. 2,800 feet. And it looks like, let's check the weather. And it looks like wind is 340, so it looks like we'll be using 29, runway 29. And let's go ahead and take a look at the arrivals. And let's get that set up. So let's go ahead and check to see what we filed for. So I'm gonna pull up go over here to the EFB. I think you can pull it up on here. And options, performance, no, aircraft, no. Nope, doesn't look like there's any options for be able to pull up the flight plan, so we'll just do it off the screen. Let you guys continue on with the flight. So let's check our route, and our route is we're going to be flying the Spud 4 arrival, and we're going to be our approach. It's going to be 28. Well, let's take a look at the airport diagram. And general aviation, and there's our terminal. So we'll use 28 right just to help us out. And they do have an ILS 28 right, so we'll go ahead and plug that in there. And we'll use tolls instead of vectors. And so, ILS 28 right. Alright, we've got all that pulled up and ready to go. There's somebody whizzing by. just now joining the stream, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Help me out, I appreciate it. And right now we are on our way to Boise, Idaho, and we are just at cruise, just hanging out. Looks like we've got about an hour left in the flight. Should be landing at 3:58 Zulu, and it is 3:01 Zulu. So got just a little less than an hour. So we are using Microsoft Flight Simulator with max settings, 4K. If you got any questions about the setup or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the chat, and I can answer them. So, yep, streaming some of these that are a little longer than a 2-hour flight. Sometimes it gets a little boring sitting up here in cruise when you got nothing going on. So, I apologize if it's a little monotonous, but we are doing it the way the real pilots do it in real life. So. Set of mountains down there. I do know that whenever I switch to the outside view that the engines are loud, I will get that fixed in the next stream. I had it set and fixed, but then and then once I fixed it, Sim Update 10 broke it again. So I do know that whenever I switch to the outside view that the engines are loud, I will get that fixed. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. As you can see, I have 67% of my audience that have watched my YouTube channel is not subscribed. So you would do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so that way you don't miss out on a stream. I truly appreciate it. But we are on our way to Patio, is our fix that we're heading to. So if now that we're up here in the cruise portion, I will edit this video later and see you guys on the other side.
swerving in my low low, head on the.
Turn on some music, listen to some music as we cruise along. It's usually what we do in the real life. Well, that's what I do in the real life whenever we get up to cruise. Autopilot's on and turn on some music.
Okay, fine, maybe I'm just a little nostalgic. Cause the memories flood in my mind, maybe I can't stop it. I know I said I wouldn't call, but I'm breaking my promise. Cause the memories flood in my mind, maybe I can't stop it. Oh, I felt weak tonight. Cause I caught myself not being caught up with the times. Strangely, you and I crossed the finish line. But big hearts move slow, get left behind. Lying next to someone else. But sometimes I still remember what you said and how it felt. Okay, fine, maybe I'm just a little nostalgic. Cause the memories flood in my mind, maybe I can't stop it. I know I said I wouldn't call, but I'm breaking my promise. Cause the memories flood in my mind, maybe I can't stop it. Oh, I can't stop it. Oh, I can't stop it. It's all locked up inside. This giant hole, this stupid quicksand life of mine. I guess I can't let go, even though I've tried. But it'll stay here with me till the day I die, lying next to someone else. But I'll always remember what you said and how it felt. Okay, fine, maybe I'm just a little nostalgic. Cause the memories are flooding my mind, maybe I can't stop it. I know I said I wouldn't call, but I'm breaking my promise. Cause the memories are flooding my mind, maybe I can't stop it. Whoa, I can't stop it. Whoa, I can't stop it. I can't stop it. Whoa, I can't stop. Oh, I can't. I know I haven't been perfect, but give it some time. There's not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind. And we spend our lives looking for things we can't find. Oh, and not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind. All the days spent on my mind, all the times that I'd say that we'll be together, we'll be together. Oh, all the ways you see through my heart, I know the good intentions they won't last
Hello,
forever,
thanks for joining.
won't last forever. Oh,
Welcome to the stream. Right now we're just cruising at flight level 340 and on our way to Boise, Idaho.
cross my mind.
Be starting our descent here in probably about
Things we can't find.
350 nautical miles, probably about 30-40 minutes. We'll start our descent. Gonna turn off our logo light. There's snow on top of those mountains. Now that it's getting darker, we'll go ahead and turn the weather a little bit. About like that. Because nobody wants to see any kind of flight in the dark. You can't see anything. That's the whole point of flying, is looking around. We are in the CRJ 900. Just jamming out, listening to some music.
I know I haven't been perfect, but give it some time. There's not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind. And we spend our lives looking for things we can't find. Oh, but not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind. Not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind. Not a single day goes by where you don't cross my mind.
There's somebody in a jet beside us.
Metaphor make-believe. If somebody would've pinched me, now would be the end of this dream. Well, pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. If I'ma be honest, I can't help but stare, yeah, I'm losing my balance. Got me running in circles around you to please, yeah, I do what I need to. So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. Savage. Pardon my manners, but something about you turns me to a savage. Savage. And baby, every time you walk by, I can feel magic in the air. Promise this ain't a drive-by. I'm trying to sweep you up and keep you there. Got me running in circles around you to please, yeah, I do what I need to. So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. Pardon my manners, but something about you turns me to a savage. Savage. Well, pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. If I'ma be honest, I can't help but stay, yeah, I'm losing my balance. Got me running in circles around you to please, yeah, I do what I need to. So pardon my manners, just something about you turns me to a savage. Pardon my manners, but something about you turns me to a savage. Savage. Back in Colorado, baby, 17 years we were childish playing. We had time to make good nights. Push back all our problems daily. Polaroid shots in the mountains, baby. We had time to make good nights. We were high. We had a radio love. We said we'd never, ever, ever let it go. No, and I'm right. We were perfect as fuck, making dreams about our lives up in the stars. Yeah, yeah, babe. Yeah, yeah, babe. And don't you ever go, darling, 'cause you're all that I know, you're all that I know. Why did you change your mind and end the night? And now I'm on my own, maybe I'll call you on the phone, maybe I just won't call, 'cause I'm over, yeah, yeah, babe. Someday I'll be patient, baby, maybe our minds wouldn't be that hazy. We have time to make good night. Look back through our review mirror. Saturday lights couldn't get much clearer. We had time to make good nights. We were high. We had a radio love. Said we never, ever, ever let it go. No, and I'm right. We were perfect as fuck, faking dreams about our lives up in the stars. Yeah, yeah, babe. Don't you ever go, darling, 'cause you're all that I know, you're all that I know. Why did you change your mind and end the night? And now I'm on my own, maybe I'll call you on the phone, maybe I just won't call, 'cause I'm over. Oh, I feel the days, I feel the nights, and every way you break me down. Your perfect lines, they fall easy. Oh, I feel the days, I feel the nights, and every way, but maybe our good nights have faded.
Just checking in with everybody, make sure they're doing alright. Okay, good, good. Yeah, it's been pretty smooth flight so far, so just want to make sure that the beverages are tasting alright, that the flight attendants are taking good care of you guys. Good, good, good. That's what we like to hear. So if anybody's just joining, don't know what this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're doing a flight from Phoenix over to Boise, Idaho. We are flying with the new Sim Update 10 in the 10 beta. So once we land, I will kind of give you a little peek at some of the new settings that they have with the multi-monitor support. I only have one monitor, so I haven't set up any other monitors as of right now. As far as TV screens for that's what's around me, so as of now, so right now we're just cruising along. Looks like we've got a nice 44 knot tailwind pushing from our pilot side on the rear, pushing us faster. So right now our ground speed's about 518 knots. Flying all the way up to Boise. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave those in the chat. And if you are joining us and you are not subscribed, which most of my viewers are not subscribed, appreciate it if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Appreciate it, helps me out. If you have a song that you would like to listen to, let me know. I'd be more than happy to play that for you. As long as it is appropriate for YouTube, I would be more than happy to play that for you. So We're just cruising along. Looks like we've got about 20 minutes and we'll start our descent. So, if you're sticking with the stream, I do appreciate it. Thank you. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about or anything like that, please feel free to let me know.
Got ready for the night in. She's headed for the left. She sees the vision going. Couple line after line. See how she looks in trouble. See how she dances and she sips the Coca-Cola. She can't tell the difference yet. That's what you're coming for, but they don't wanna let you in it. You drop your back to the floor and you're asking what's happening. It's getting late now, hey now. Enough of the arguments. She sips the Coca-Cola. She can't tell the difference yet. She can't tell the difference yet. That's what you're coming for. Don't wanna let you in. You drop your back to the floor. You're asking what's happening. It's getting late now, hey now. Enough of the arguments. She sips the Coca-Cola. She can't tell the difference yet. That's what you're coming for.
I think this is a little bit more fitting music for as we're cruising around here at 517 knots ground speed. Doesn't look like the car's at the door, which is good. Pretty good sized body of water underneath us. Alright, we got about 15 minutes and we'll start our descent. Start our turn on down. I think it overturned just a little bit. Alright. Well, what we're going to do, since it seems to want to be wandering, see if this works. We'll hit direct to probe. See if that helps. Put it into heading mode. See if heading mode will keep her. Now we'll switch to nav mode and see what happens. Wanting to wander a little bit here. Looks like we've got about 3 minutes and then we'll start our descent. Hope the beverages were good. Hopefully nobody had one too many.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane.
There we go. This is more like it.
But what a thrill. This race is great balls of fire. I let you love what I
Sing it, Goose.
You came along and woo, now honey, I've changed my mind. This love is fine. This race is great balls of fire. Kisses, baby. Feels good. Hold me, baby. Well, I want to love you like I love you should. You're fine, so kind. Got to tell this world that you're mine. I chew my nails and I twitch on my thumb. I'm real nervous, but it sure is fun. Come on, baby. It drives me crazy. It's just great balls of fire. Kisses me, baby. Feels good. Hold me, baby.
Alright, we're getting ready to start our descent, so let's go ahead and pull on our descent checklist. New descent, landing elevation, ascent, fuel check. And it looks like we've got about 8,210 pounds. And we will be good with that. Looks like we'll burn at about 4,400 pounds per hour. We have less than an hour, we got about 20 minutes, so we'll be good there. TCAS as required, which we do have that set and turned on. Radar terrain displaying, we do have the terrain turned on. And CAS is cleared and checked, emergency lights are on. And landing data is set. So we can go into ENAV, and we can go to so turn on the seatbelt signs here in just a little bit as we get ready to, before we start our descent on down into Boise.
Baby girl, I don't got a huge old house, I rent a room in the house. Listen, baby girl, I ain't got a motorboat, but I can float your boat. So listen, baby girl, once you get a dose of dough, you gon' want some more. So listen, baby girl, when I make it, I want you there. I want you there, yeah.
is the most overrated electronic music artist, by the way, ever to exist of all time. It's so mediocre. To have it become so popular makes no sense.
Only feel calm when I'm numb. That's why it's nice dripping out. I only feel it all when I'm done. It's when my eyes dripping down like this. A moment like this will probably sink in then. So I'll admit it now. I only feel calm when I'm numb. Supernova yeah, I only feel calm when I'm supernova yeah, I only feel calm when I'm supernova was good talk. And this whole house could tell you
And we'll go ahead and start our descent on down. So we'll go ahead and turn on that fasten seatbelt signs.
those nights that I was ready to get up and just leave it all behind for you. Oh, it's not fair that all the stars and the moon and the trees can see you dance and I can't. Oh, it's not fair that the insides of your pockets can feel your hands and I can't. Oh, I just wanna be where you are.
Alright. Go ahead and turn off the music and start our arrival into Boise. Welcome back if you're just now joining us. If you're not, and you've been with us the whole time, I appreciate that. So we're just managing our vertical speed here, trying to hold 270 knots. Send about 2,400 feet per minute. Give it a little bit less. That'll put us right at taut at 11,000 feet, where we need to be. And we probably ought to get the ATIS or the ATIS. I am just going on my 4 flight and using it. It is 2993, so it's pretty much almost standard. Since we're going to be descending on down through to 11,000, we're already on our way down. We'll go ahead and set 2993 in our barrel. We'll go ahead and grab our checklist. And before landing, passenger sides are armed. Go ahead and we'll get that a little bit later. Get that checklist before landing. But we've got landing elevation set. Got all that ready to go. Passenger seatbelt signs are on. Nose wheel steering is armed. We'll get the thrust reversers armed in just a second. Once we get a little bit closer. And we're just managing our descent and managing our speed. I think we're about 270-ish, 272 right now. And our speed restriction is going to be MASH at 250 knots at 11,000 feet. So once we get to taut, we will go ahead and start our slowing down of the 250 knots. So I'm going to go ahead and arm that 250 as a marker for myself to know that we need to slow down to 250 knots. And I always err on the side of caution, so we'll go ahead and go to 245. Because the last thing we want to do is bust that 250 knots, that's for sure. Okay, we just went through 18,000 feet and our altimeter is set. Our barometric pressure of the baro is set to 2993 as what was given to us by the ForeFlight on my phone. And that's what we're going to go with because I'm using live weather, so it should be pretty close. And we're already starting to slow down just a little bit to get under that 250, which we are going to make it just fine. This does not have auto throttles in it, so you do have to manage the speed yourself. So it is one thing that you have to do in the CRJ is manage your speed on your own. So the sun is right in our eyes, so it makes it a little hard to see on the screen the terrain and everything down below, so I apologize for that. And we can go ahead and add in a little bit of throttle here. Managing that speed, we're at 230-ish, 239-ish. So we'll give it just a little bit more power. All those windmills out there. So knock on wood, we haven't had any trouble with Sim Update 10 beta, so no crashes to the desktop or anything like that. So that's always good. And about 1,300 feet to go before we level off at 11,000. So we're gonna make that, and there's our 11,000. We'll slowly start to level off, give it a little bit of more thrust. Watching our speed as it starts to slow the rate of descent. We'll have to add in a little bit more thrust. And we're at taut. And go ahead and add in a little bit more thrust. And our next altitude is going to be 10,000. we're below the 250 knots, so we're good there. Next is going to be Cellar at 8,230 knots. So we want to make sure that we are go ahead and hit our VS and slowly start going down. And don't forget to pull back our throttles a little bit. Go on down to 10,000. Yeah, it looks like we've got plenty of fuel on board. We've got 7,485 pounds of fuel. And it looks like we're only burning about 1,500 pounds right now an hour. So we're good there. And we'll go ahead and set it to 8,000. And we will VS that down. And we'll go ahead and set our speed bug to 230, which is our next speed restriction. So we'll go ahead and pull back the throttle just a little bit here. And we will go ahead and VS that down a little bit more. So we can get down to the 8,000 before yeah, it looks like we've got an insight out there to our just to our 11 o'clock there. And Tullis will be the first set of approaches into Boise. The IAF, the instrument approach fix. The start of the instrument approach. So we'll go ahead and turn landing lights on. Got all that on. Yeah, let's do before the landing. Passenger signs are on. Thrust reversers are active. Landing gear down. Flaps are set. And so now that we're starting to get a little bit slower, we'll go ahead and go down to 7,000. Yes, that down. And we can go ahead and set in 2 notches of flaps. As we start getting slower. And we will go ahead and flip over to nav source, to the localizer. And we will arm the approach. And our minimums are going to be 3,121. And Zixby is going to be our final approach fix. And we've captured the glide slope. And go flaps 20. Let it stabilize.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to land. Please notice the cabin lights have been turned off, as this is a normal procedure for a nighttime landing.
Okay, let's check to make sure how much runway we've got. We've got 10,000 feet of runway. And we've got runway in sight, so we'll go ahead and go gear down. Go ahead and do about 60 on the power setting. And we are almost at Zixby, so we'll go ahead and go flaps full. And we've got 1 green, 3 green. 3 green, landing lights are on. Let's go before landing checklist. Passenger signs are on, thrust reversers are armed, landing gear is down, flaps are set. Alright. We've got runway in sight. We can go ahead and continue. We've got flying the green needles now. And coming into land here. Going through 5,000. We'll start to see that little bit of radar off to our right of the mountains, obviously. We can also visually see that, but the radar is working and sim update 10, so that's good. Watching that speed, we're getting a little bit slow. That's why it's kind of starting to want to wobble back and forth. Flaps are full. Thrust reversers are done. Gear is down. 3 green indicating flaps are set. Nose wheel steering is armed, so we are good. Boise is just out in front of us. Boise D, Idaho. Alright, let's go ahead and go over our missed approach. For any reason we need a missed approach, we're going to climb to 6,000 and get that set. And on the Vortec radial 279 to Atoll and hold. Alright, so we're just going to be climbing to 6,000 on the mist. And we've got 4,200 to go. Looking for 3,121 to go. There's the 1,000 call out. Just managing that speed is all we're doing, all the way down. And we've got 3,800. And we've got the Pappies. Go ahead and disconnect the autopilot and hand flyer on in. Just managing our speed, managing that localizer.
5,
There's 500 to go. $400 to go. We're at 3,300.
300. 200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And the thrust reverser's armed. And speed brake pushed. Passing through 80 knots. Go ahead and release the reversers. And welcome to Boise, Idaho. And we'll go ahead and pull those up. Flaps are up. And airline terminals right over here off to our right. So we will take this taxiway right here. And welcome aboard. Or welcome home. Whichever it could be. And we've got them right out in front of us. So we will park it here and let's go on to our after landing checklist. Spoilers are retracted. APU, we'll go ahead and get the APU turned on. And power levers on. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. And we'll go ahead and start that. It is starting. Transponder set to standby. Oh, yep, I got that over here. Standby. Radar terrain display. We'll go ahead and turn that off. And flaps are retracted. Landing lights are off. And strobes are off. And taxi lights are on. And probes are on. We're good. Alright, let's go ahead and taxi on over to the gate. Looks like there's somebody else coming in on those following us. I think all the parking stands are a little bit busy here. Oh, here's one over here to our left. Take that one. And just in case there was somebody standing down there, go ahead and turn off the taxi lights. And go ahead and hold her here. Parking brake is set. And we can go ahead and undo the fasten seatbelt signs. And we can go ahead and shut off the engines. And we made it back here. So, well, appreciate everybody joining. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And we will see you the next time on the stream. So, appreciate you joining. And we will see you guys on the other side. Everybody, good night.